Hey, what's up, everybody? How you doing? Episode number 375, Drink It Till You podcast, the only podcast that lasts until the last drop. How the hell is your Sunday going? How the hell was your week? Hope everybody's okay. I hope you're safe out there. I'm drinking a little seltzer here. Let's go ahead and have our first drink of the episode. If you got them, drink them bottoms up. Cheers, everybody. Huge sports-filled weekend. UFC, MLB, NHL. I feel like this year, as opposed to last year, I'm just way more into the MLB. It usually takes me a good month to get into the MLB after the official games of the season start. But this season, for whatever reason, I'm just into it. I want to watch them all. I want to watch every single game I can, which is what I did over the weekend, which was really nice. My Rangers dropping the opening day game, which kind of sucks because Evaldi was on the mound. You'd really like to see him get his first win of the season, especially the way he pitched. But we lose that one. We come back. We win game 2. We win game 3. Today is game 4 against Boston. So we'll see how that one goes. But yeah, we're above 500 to start the season, which is, obviously a good thing. You never want to drop down below, especially in our division. It gets kind of, you drop down too far too quick. It gets hard to climb out of that hole. So other than that, man, yeah, I've had a productive start to the day. I've gone to the car wash, gone to the gym. Now I'm doing this episode. It's leaving my day open for whatever other sports I can consume. Stars played last night. So no Stars tonight, but we do have NASCAR on here in a little while. Looking forward to that. Christopher Bell, I guess he plays. I never watch, where they do the placements. I never watch that race. I'm just interested, no matter where they're starting. I'm just interested in seeing the actual race. It's kind of like preseason to me for other sports. I never watch preseason. I never watch the draft. I never get into any. I just want to know who's on the field and what can they do. I mean, obviously the coaches would have picked these people for a reason to be on the team. So yeah, I just want to see the actual event. I don't want to see what leads up to it. I mean, it's great that Christopher Bell is starting in first place. I mean, hopefully that's the strategy. Is he's going to start up top and just never relinquish. I mean, I know that's probably damn near impossible, but who knows? I mean, if you get a good enough lead out in front of everybody, you might have a chance to just be first place the entire race and never have to worry about it. That'd be nice, huh? Not exactly exciting, but it'd be nice. So yeah, looking forward to that race today. We'll get more into MLB. We'll get more into NHL a little bit. We'll get more into UFC, which was a great event, man. I've kind of been feeling down on UFC lately, but they actually had some really good fights last night. So let's go ahead and have another drink. Cheers, everybody. Doing a little bit of history. I love history, man. I love, Native American history has been kind of a bug that I've gotten over the past couple of years. It really started with that Empire of the Summer Moon. I don't know if anybody's read that, but a really good book, and it really just sparked this interest for me. I've always kind of been interested in Native American history and culture and stuff like that, but this book just really got me deep into it and the different tribes and where they lived and all this and that. So I'm digging deep into history at some points in time, which is really good for me. I need to read more. That's definitely a goal of mine, year after year, is to read more so I'm not so dumb. It's a good thing for me to get into history. It kind of just, it's a neat thing. It's neat to look back, and it's neat to actually question if the history we're being taught is correct and if it's accurate. And I actually saw this video the other day on Twitter, which was really cool. It was about the Great Wall of China. I guess somebody went there and visited the Great Wall. And he kind of made a video, I guess maybe a discovery about the wall, which, I've never been there. I don't know. I don't know how it's set up. I mean, I know it's huge. I can imagine what its purpose was for, to keep people out possibly. But this guy went there and he took a video of it, and he was basically saying, like, if China built that wall, it would have been structured completely different from what it's structured now, currently. I mean, as it stands. Basically what he was saying is the way it's set up is basically like if you had archers on top of the Great Wall, they would actually be shooting into China. And not, if you're Chinese and you build the wall, you'd make it to where your archers are shooting from enemies coming within. And it's actually what this guy was saying, and I don't know this to be true. It was just like a minute or two Twitter video, and I can be tricked on the internet very easily. It's not hard to do. So, take this with a grain of salt, but I kind of believe him just for the fact that I was looking through the comments and nobody was like, oh, that's not true. And, there's a lot smarter people out there than me. So I would figure somebody would have called him out on it. But basically, yeah, that was it. It's like the way they built the wall kind of leads him to believe that it wasn't built by China. It was built by somebody outside of China as a way, I guess, to keep people out from China from coming into whatever country it borders. I don't even know. I haven't looked at a map. I'm being very vague on this, but I just thought it was interesting that all these years you would think that China built the wall, obviously to protect themselves, to keep people out, but the way it's set up is not that way. So further research is needed. Like I said, I'm not looking at a map. I'm just going off of what I remember from the video, but I just thought that was super interesting, man. Like, there's all kinds of things like that that need to be questioned, in history and things like that. So we can hopefully come to some kind of truth, why it was built, who actually built it. I mean, hasn't China just like claimed credit for building that thing for so long? I mean, why would they construct it in a way to where the archers would shoot into the city, into China? That doesn't make any sense. But yeah, like I said, more research is needed. I just thought that was cool, and I had to mention it on the podcast. Digging into history, the more and more that I do, it was kind of right up my alley there. So yeah, that was a cool video. I wish I had the handle. You could go look the video up, but I'm sure if you go in on Twitter, type in Great Wall of China, you'll see the guy's video, and it's interesting, history isn't always what we're taught. History is written by people, and people lie all the time, you know what I mean? So it's easy to kind of, I wouldn't say easy, but, it's probably easier to fake things throughout history. So anyway, there's a little history talk that was very vague, and nothing of it was said in fact, but it was amusing to me. So let's go ahead and move on to the MLB. Yeah, as I said, my Texas Rangers, they've won 2 out of 3 games. We'll kind of go through the league standings here so far early on in the season. Jesus Christ, I know yesterday the Yankees, good Lord, they just beat the hell out of the Brewers yesterday. It was like 20-3. I mean, I started off watching the game. I mean, within the first, I would say 3 innings, Aaron Judge had 3 home runs. It's like, dude, this is going to get ugly. And it did. It got really ugly really quick. The final score that I have to see. It was one of those games to where I was like so interested to watch. But at a certain point when it's like 13-3, you're just like, okay, this one's over. Like, there's no need to watch this one anymore. What did that one end up being? Brewers 20. Well, hey, the Brewers scored a little bit. Kudos to them. 20-9 was the final score. I mean, they reached 20, and it was like, I mean, you really didn't have to play the rest of the game. And I wonder if the MLB would actually, I was thinking about this yesterday, if the MLB would actually do anything like that. Like, when we were kids, You probably remember if you played any kind of recreational sport. But if a team was so good that they were just beating the hell out of you in a game, there was like a mercy rule to where like the game would just end because there's just no way the other team was going to come back. And that's just how the game ended. It saved a lot of time. It saved a lot of like energy. It saved a lot of like heartache and grief for the other kids that were losing. So, but I wonder if MLB would ever implement that. I mean, I would say, I don't know. It's kind of hard to say because you can't make the score too low. Like, when would that mercy rule start? 15 runs. It's got to be a certain ratio. If you got 15 runs up on a team, regardless of the score, that's just got to be it. 4th inning, 5th inning, 2nd inning. I mean, it should just be over. Let's just not waste our efforts. But I mean, that's kind of, that would kind of suck too. I could see the other side of the argument because you would, as a team, you would have to strategically deal with that. You know what I mean? Like being on the Brewers side of it, it's kind of interesting to see how they would deal with it. You end up putting in the left fielder to pitch for the rest of the game, so you save all your bullpen arms. And that's kind of the cool part about it, the strategic part of it. Is, what does the team that's losing so badly do? Like, how do they deal with it? Which you're putting a left fielder in to pitch, I mean, isn't that just going to make the score worse? There's no way these guys are throwing 95 miles an hour. Like, you're lucky to hit 70, So I don't know. It's kind of a toss-up. I doubt they would ever do anything like that. I mean, these are grown men, professional athletes, the top of their game, so that'd kind of be a slap in the face to, everybody has a bad game every now and then. The Brewers just starting off the season, a really bad game. And I found this out yesterday about the Yankees. They apparently had some scientist of some sort. I don't even know how to classify the guy. Like, that's how you know someone is smart. When I can't even classify what their job title is, that's how you know they're smart. You know what I mean? Like, I can't even fathom the words to come up with a job title for this human being that is so intelligent. But basically what he did was he took, like a regular baseball bat, and the MLB has regulations and rules about the bat. They have to be solid wood, all this and that. They have to be a certain length. They have to be a certain weight. But this guy took the Yankees bats and basically, at the very top of the bat, like he basically shaved off the top of the bat and put it more toward the barrel. I guess where the logo would be, making it look more like a bowling pin, if you can picture that shape. Obviously, the handle part is the smallest part of the bat, but it looked like a bowling pin shape, and which is completely legal from what I'm reading. They're within their right to do that. I don't think I've ever seen another team do this before. But these were the bats they were using yesterday when they beat the shit out of the Brewers 20-9. And they hit so many home runs. And it kind of makes me wonder why no team has ever thought to do this before. It just puts all of that power, it takes it from the tip of the bat, and like I said, puts it where that barrel is. It like makes that part fatter. And dude, I mean, results showed yesterday. It was amazing how many home runs they hit. They might have even, I stopped watching, like I said, I got bored with it at a certain point, but they might have hit like the most home runs in franchise history for the Yankees, for their franchise. I don't know if they actually broke the record, but I have to assume they probably did. But at some point, like 3 home runs in, Aaron Judge, it's like, why are you still pitching to him? Like, seriously, I know they have a stacked lineup, but this guy, I mean, you just can't. You can't pitch to him. And the 3 home runs to start off the game in the first inning, it was like on 3 pitches. The first 3 pitches of the game, they had a home run. which is pretty impressive. But yeah, come to find out, it had a lot to do with the bats. And like I said, I see a lot of people bitching online about it, but this is perfectly legal. They're not doing anything illegal. These bats are approved by the MLB. They just thought to take it off the very tippy top of the bat and put it more toward the barrel. And dude, it freaking works. I'm wanting my Texas Rangers to take a hint. Like what if you, and I'm sure you could, if the bat's legal, you could choose to use it at any time. What if you used a regular bat during the season? Like you purely just went off of, we've built this team. We have a good team. We know how to get wins. We're going to make it to the playoffs. We're, just a good team. If you just use regular bats and then come playoff time, switch to those, the other team wouldn't know what to do with you. You know what I mean? Like, I think it might have been a little bit of a mistake on the Yankees' part. Like, save that shit. Save those runs for when you get to the playoffs. Don't reveal those, because now everybody knows about it. Now the whole MLB is looking at it going, wait a minute, you can do that? This is legal? That's a legal shape of a bat? Literally, it looks like a longer version of a bowling pin. It's kind of insane. It's insane that they thought to do it. They employed somebody to do it. And it's insane that it just works so well. 20-9, dude. Like, you don't even have to really have pitching at that point, do you? This season, if, other MLB teams, they're obviously going to catch wind of this. This might be the biggest, offensive season in MLB history ever, if other teams implement this kind of thing. Yeah, dude, it's just nuts. I can't believe no one's ever thought of that before. But yeah, like I said, all the shit that they're getting, it's perfectly legal, so it shouldn't matter, as long as you're not breaking the rules, you're good to go. And MLB, like I said, they approve it. They have to approve it. You can't just walk in there with a bat off the street, any kind of shape, any kind of, material. Like, it has to be approved. So they're not doing anything wrong, which is very smart. But I think it would have been smarter to just tough out the season. Maybe break them out for a couple of tough games where you need some victories or something during the regular season. But absolutely just switch to them, come playoff time. But I guess, the thing about it is they haven't been tried. They haven't been proven to, what if they were shit? What if the design didn't work? Now you're in the playoffs with these bullshit ass looking bats and they're not they're not working. So I guess, I kind of see the theory there of them using them so early on in the season. You have to know if they actually work, and boy, oh boy, do they work. My goodness, they just beat the hell out of the Brewers yesterday. So I'm assuming they're going to use these bats all season. I'm hoping, like I said a second ago, I'm hoping my Texas Rangers take notice. Just help us that much more on offense. I think we have a really good team going. So yeah, we'll see. There's a little MLB. Should we do some standings early on? Let's go ahead and do some standings early on. Let's see where everybody's at. Oh, my smartphone finally wised up. It finally started me off when I Google searched the MLB. It finally started me off with the American League. It used to always do National League first. So we'll read the top two out of every division. National League East, you have the Phillies at 2-0. You have the Marlins at 2-1. National League Central, you have the Cardinals at 2-0. The Reds at 1-1. National League West, oh my God, the Dodgers have already played 5 games. The Dodgers are 5-0. Padres are 3-0. Moving over to the American League, Yankees at 2-0. Orioles at 2-1. American League Central, Royals at 1-1, Guardians at 1-1. American League West, look who's leading the way. The Athletics 2-1. Well, I guess we're all three tied. Athletics 2-1, Rangers 2-1, Astros 2-1. So yeah, it's going to be a great season, man. I'm so excited. I've never felt this excitement, at least in a couple of years, about the early MLB season. It's like playoff hockey time. The playoffs. The season is winding down. So these games are crucial for these teams. So I'm usually just balls deep, for lack of a better word, in the NHL. But yeah, this season, for whatever reason, I'm all about everything, all of it, all the time. So let's go ahead and have another drink. If you got them, drink them. Bottoms up. Cheers, everybody. All right. We're going to do something we haven't done in a little bit. A little ba 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 da ba ba da ba ba da. Do, 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 do. We're going to do some drink recommendations. Found a couple of new ones I have never seen before. So, springtime, cocktail time, sitting on the patio with your friends, watching some sports, eating some wings. It's just a great time of year, although it is a little bit warmer today. You'd have to definitely find some shade on a patio. But yeah, dude, I'm just thinking about playing in a band. I miss it. This time of year is what makes me miss playing in a band. When it gets to like wintertime, I hate playing in a band. It's just so slow. To do a show is just so like, I don't know. It's not fun. Not as fun. But springtime, summertime, dude, that's the time to play in a band. That's what I should do. I should start a band that only plays in the spring and summer. The rest of the year maybe we write new music. We don't tour. We don't do any of that. We go out and play in the spring and summer because that's the best time, dude. I'm thinking back to Austin, Texas, sitting on the patio before playing a show with a group of friends and goofing off, having a drink. Houston, Texas. I was actually down there when they won their last World Series, literally the night they won the World Series. Same thing, just sitting on the patio, just having a great time. I guess that would be more fall. But those are maybe I should change my band. I'm changing my band to spring tours, summer tours, and fall tours. The rest of the year can go F itself. But yeah, dude, that's just, I love it. I love being in a new city, having a drink at a place I've never been to before. As always, don't drink and drive, get an Uber, get a Lyft. But yeah, it's just a good time, man. That's one of the things, aside from just playing music and hanging out with my friends, that's the one I miss, the exploring part of it, the newness of it, being someone in a town you've never been to, a new person in a new town, So anyways, let's go ahead and do our drink recommendations. The first one I have for you is called the Bee's Knees Cocktail. This is from cookieandkate.com. Here's what you're going to need for it. 1/2 ounce of honey syrup, 1 ounce lemon juice, 2 ounces of gin, gross, and a lemon twist for garnish. Now you might be asking yourself, how do you make honey syrup? And in the first step here, they have how to make honey syrup, because I didn't know, that's for sure. I've never made honey syrup in my life, never even heard of that. To make the honey syrup, combine equal parts honey and water, say 2 tablespoons each if you're only making a few cocktails. In a microwave-safe bowl or small saucepan, warm in the microwave or over stovetop just until you can completely stir the honey into the water and set it aside. Here's your next step. Before juicing your lemons, use a vegetable peeler to peel off strips of zest for your twist. To make the cocktail, fill a cocktail shaker with ice, pour in honey syrup, lemon juice, and gin, gross. Securely fasten the lid and shake until the mixture is very cold, about 30 seconds. Strain the drink into a coupe or martini glass. Twist the lemon peel over the cocktail to release some of its oils, then drop it in. Enjoy while cold. And obviously I'm not a huge fan of gin. I do these drink recommendations so you guys can have something, even if it's not necessarily something I like. I'm sure there's people out there who like gin. I'm just not one of them. But yeah, there you go. There's how to make the Bee's Knees cocktail. Next up on the list is the Spring Cooler. This is from cheersonline.com. You're going to need 2 parts the Belvenie Caribbean Cask 14-year-old Scotch. Ooh, fancy. 2 parts fresh pressed strawberry juice, 1 part fresh lemon juice, 1 part simple syrup, and some fresh mint. Here's the steps. pretty easy. It's just one large step. Clap mint and adding to a cocktail. What do you mean clap mint? Does that mean to literally take the mint and clap it in your hands? Is that like a different version of muddling? Okay, I have to look this up before we move on because I don't know. How do you clap mint? How to clap mint. I've never heard of this before. I've heard of muddling before. To clap or smack mint leaves, hold a few sprigs in one hand, then gently smack them downwards with your other. Okay, so yeah, it's basically like muddling in your hands. I've never heard that before. That's kind of crazy. Back to the recipe here. Let's go ahead and start over. Clap mint and adding to cocktail shaker. Add the rest of the ingredients. Add ice and shake hard for 7 seconds. Strain into glass over fresh ice. Top with soda water as desired for spritz. Garnish with fresh mint sprig, lemon slice, and edible flowers. There you go. There's how to make a spring cooler. This next one we have is also from cheersonline.com. This one's called the Illicit Affair. That's dirty. 2 ounces of Grey Goose vodka, a 1/4 ounce elderflower liqueur, 3/4 ounce dragon fruit puree, 1/2 ounce lemon juice, cucumber slices, gross, and basil leaves. Here's how the hell you make it. Super simple. Muddle cucumber and basil and shake. Are you sure you're not supposed to slap the cucumber in your hands? Muddle cucumber and basil in a shaker. Add rest of ingredients. Shake well with ice. Double strain into a chilled martini glass. There you go. That's how to make the Illicit Affair. All 3 of these I've never heard of before, which is kind of cool to find some new ones. As always, don't drink and drive. Treat yourself to an Uber. Treat yourself to a Lyft. Hey, listen to this one. Treat yourself to a Waymo. I'd never heard of these before. These are apparently fully automated, like taxis. You can only find them in Phoenix and San Francisco, I believe, are the only 2 places that are doing it. But how cool is that? No driver. You just order it on the app. It takes you to where you're going. I think they've had a few wrecks, to be honest with you, but I don't think they're not allowed on the highway. So I mean, the worst you're going to have is like a fender bender, I would think, unless you go over some railroad tracks, then you're getting a little dicey there. But yeah, you can stop the ride at any time. You can, other than that, you just kind of let it do its thing. It knows the streets and knows how to guide itself. That's so cool, man. We're getting to such there's literally no excuse to drink and drive anymore. I mean, people will do it for you. They're coming out with automated cars, fully autonomous cars to do it for you. It's just a new day, a new age. But yeah, don't drink and drive. Treat yourself. Let's have another drink. Cheers, everybody. All right, let's see how much. Jesus, 28 minutes already. All right, I'm running out of time. Let's see. NHL. My Dallas Stars coming away with a victory last night. Now, these last 2 games, this is what the Dallas Stars should be looking like. I love the way they're playing these last 2 games, man. They've been really picking it up. I know DeBoer was kind of irritated over the past couple of weeks of games we've had, just because we're not playing to our potential. But yesterday against the Kraken, that was like a late start. That was after all the festivities, all the UFC, everything was over. Yeah, dude, this is the way we should be playing. This is how I picture when I was talking about it about a month ago. How if we play a certain way, if we play this style that we've started to play again, we're really, really hard to beat. We're a really good team, man. And what's his name? Rantanen. He gets the empty net goal, which I'm okay with. I love it. Pad his stats a little bit, but also start, get him, on the score sheet. That's step number one, getting yourself on the score sheet. Then you don't have to worry about, I haven't scored in 5 games. I hadn't scored in 10 games. You're already on the score sheet, even if it was an empty net. That's what we need. I don't think we've actually even seen, with our new additions, I don't think we've seen our full potential of this team. I think we're playing a lot better these past 2 games than we have. And then probably the past 2 weeks before that. But I still don't think we've even reached our full potential, which is super scary to think about if you're another team in the NHL. And with everything said, we're only 4 points behind the Winnipeg Jets, which is like kind of incredible, honestly, with how well the Jets have played. I've been praising them all season, but we're coming down to it. I'm pretty sure we have at least another game against the Jets. That's going to be a huge one. But we're coming down to it, and we're only 4 points behind them. I mean, it's Winnipeg, Dallas, and the Washington Capitals as the top teams in the NHL. Like, it's incredible to me with everything we've been through, kind of the, downticks on our production that we've had. It's like we're still right there. We're still only 4 points back, which is super impressive, dude. I mean, there's a chance that we could end up overtaking Winnipeg. They haven't had a slide all season, but, I mean, you get 3 or 4 games in a row of them just kind of, having some bad games, a string of bad games or whatever. Dude, it's kind of wild to think that the Stars might end up on top. That's just crazy to me. But yeah, my Stars do win last night, 5-1. We play Seattle Monday night, 9 o'clock, another late start. I'll probably already be asleep by that one. But yeah, yesterday, a great set of games. It was the one I was most interested in seeing was the St. Louis Blues versus the Colorado Avalanche. That was a good game. It was 1-1 pretty much the entire game. The first 2 goals, I believe they're in the first period, and they were only like 30 seconds to a minute apart. St. Louis scored first. Colorado comes back and scores. And yeah, it's pretty much 1-1 the entire game. Now, there were some questionable calls. There was one instance with Foxa, former Dallas Star, where I guess the Colorado guy was like, trying to stick check him basically. And he pulled Fox's stick into his own skates, and Fox had tripped and fell down, and they called the penalty. I mean, it was funny from an outsider's point of view. I'm sure if you're a Colorado fan, you're fucking pissed. But just from me, it was kind of, I don't know, just kind of a clumsy play. It made me giggle a little bit. But I can totally understand the gripe of the Colorado fans. It was totally Foxa who tripped himself. So that shouldn't have been a call. There were some other questionable non-calls. There was like an interference call on one of the Colorado players earlier in what I can't remember, second period, third period, who knows. A lot of sports happened yesterday. But there was an interference call where, basically one of the St. Louis players, he got checked near the puck, and he's kind of gets up slow and he's skating back toward the play. And here comes a Colorado player, and he just like shoulders him down to the ice, like nowhere near the puck. They called that interference, and then I know this one was in the third period. There was I can't remember exactly what happened, but there was absolutely an interference from a St. Louis Blues player on the Colorado player, and there was no calls. Like the power plays were so like one-sided. It's like the refs are normally better than that. If they're going to call one thing on somebody, they're going to call something on the other team just to keep it even, just so you can't say at the end of the game, well, the refs, they let so-and-so have the game because they called 5 penalties on us, and that was absolutely the case. I think that ended up being like 5 power plays to 2 or something like. I don't exactly remember, but it was a wide gap. And, like I said, the refs normally don't do that. They normally try to keep it even. That way the players are basically deciding who's going to win or lose the game. But yeah, it was very lopsided on the calls. I'm like thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, I know the Blues aren't playing that clean of a game to where they've only got one penalty called on them the entire game. Like, that's kind of crazy. So yeah, I mean, Colorado fans obviously pissed, and I'm not one to praise Jordan Binnington. As you know, as a Stars fan, we've had our history, and he is not or will ever be one of my favorite hockey players. But I gotta say, dude, if it wasn't for Binnington yesterday, I mean, Colorado would have taken that game. Like, Binnington stood on his head. When they say the goalie steals a game for you, that's literally what Binnington did. I mean, they had him dead to rights a few times, especially in that third period when Colorado's pressing and they're down 2-1. And Binnington just did his thing, you know. Like I said, I'm not one to praise Binnington, but damn, I got to give credit where credit's due. He played a hell of a game, dude, and he definitely saved his team. So St. Louis comes out on top in that one. That was a fun game. A lot of physical play, a lot of skilled play, from offensive players or goalies. But yeah, that was a good one. But I'd be pissed if I was, and my Dallas Stars, God knows, we've had those games, dude, to where it's like, do we not get any power plays? Like, what the fuck is going on, man? Why do the refs hate us so much? Like, the other team is not playing that clean. There's plenty of things you could have called, and you're just not calling them. Why? So I get it. We've had our fair share of that, too. So it's looking like we're on a collision course. My Dallas Stars are on a collision course with Colorado in the first round of the playoffs. Unless, like I said, the scenario plays out to where we happen to overtake the Jets for first place. That'll change things up a little bit. But as it stands now, yeah, I mean, it's going to be us versus Colorado, which is going to be an electric series. If you're not watching the NHL, I suggest you watch. That's going to be a hell of a series. It's going to be a battle. There's going to be some meanness, some bad blood, all that stuff. So, yeah, take notice, pay attention, man. If you want to get into hockey, if you were into the Four Nations and you love that style of play, that level of effort, that's what you get every single game of the NHL playoffs. So I recommend tuning in. But yeah, that's going to do it for me. UFC, it was a great event. It was a lot of fun. I'm not going to go through the fighters and stuff. The only controversy I saw with the UFC was the very first prelim fight. I don't get how the judges are scoring these sometimes. I really don't. It's like, how can I, like, I'll say 95% of the time I'm right on who's going to win when it goes to the cards. And it's like, there's always those oddballs. Like, that first fight of the night was definitely one of those. I was like, there's no way that dude won. He got beat up the whole time. So yeah, a little bit of controversy. It was an early prelim. I wonder how much of politics plays into that, But still a great set of fights, man. A great event last night. That was a lot of fun. But yeah, I think the next one is next weekend. I think that's the big one. That's one of the numbered events, as I call it. So tune into that. I'm definitely going to tune into that. That's going to be a huge one. But yeah, that's all I have for you tonight. As always, don't drink and drive. Treat yourself to an Uber. Treat yourself to a Lyft. Treat yourself to a Waymo. Treat yourself to a DoorDash and Uber Eats, all that good stuff. They'll bring the booze to you. You don't have to drive anywhere. But let's go ahead and finish these off. If you got them, drink them. Bottoms up. Cheers, everybody. All right, guys. I will talk to you next week. Be safe out there. I love you all. Bye.